أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد إن شاء الله we continue our classes with the new year of 2024. And it is a Gregorian year, but since we are in a culture of Western culture, that it is recognizing this date or this calendar, and we are part of it. So it is not realistic not to recognize it. Okay. So if somebody tells you Happy New Year, tell him same to you, or Happy New Year to you. But don't start it with a non-Muslim, or don't start with others, because this is a tradition of non-Muslim, wishing the Happy New Year in the New Year. But in the origin or the fundamental of it, there is nothing wrong in wishing your Muslim wishing your fellow Muslim happy day, happy week, happy Friday, happy month, happy anything, happy birthday. Doesn't matter. But the idea is, when something it is associated with a culture that it is identified as a non-Muslim culture, we avoid as much as we can. So, and it is not haram to say Happy New Year or that, but you cannot say Happy Easter, for example. See, because Easter now, it is associated with a pagan thing, Ashtar, or the goddess of spring or fertility or something like that. Christmas, for example, Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. We do not say those things because they are associated with religious. They have religious implications and religious meaning associated with it. But when you say Happy New Year, Happy Friday, Happy week, Happy day, there's nothing wrong in it. And dua in Islam is something required for everybody. I'm talking about the default rule. May Allah give you best day today. May Allah give barakah in your day, right? May Allah grant you a happy year. We can make it more Islamic. May Allah grant you a happy New Year. May Allah grant you a fruitful year. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support us to do good in this year, forgive our shortcomings in the last year, and enable us to do this. But as I said, this calendar is not like the original Islamic calendar. Islamic calendar is the Hijri calendar. It is lunar calendar, going by the moon, as Allah Azza wa Jalla recognized the 12 months. They start by the sighting of the moon, the lunar calendar, going by the moon, not by the sun. Okay, so this is how Allah identified it in the Quran, and how the Arabs used to use it, and how Islam chose that to become the way of identifying days, months, weeks, incidents, history, and so on. But since we are living in here, there's no problem using the calendar. There's nothing wrong about it. And, wishing people like a good time and all of that as a Muslim, as a dua, right? But when you wish somebody who is not Muslim happy time while they are mushrikeen, while they are not worshipping Allah and all that, that in itself has an issue. I do not initiate, but if they wish you, so reply in a good way. That's it. You too, and thank you, and all of that. And when people tell me Merry Christmas, I say thank you, or smile. And you don't have to. I feel that sometimes Muslims get to that I have to say something. You don't have to. It's all right, This is a free country, and not everybody believes in Christmas, and not everybody believes in everybody's belief, anybody's belief. Nobody can force you to do anything, and you don't have to blend in, or you don't have to fit in. This is a misunderstanding, right? So this is a misunderstanding being here in the United States, that you have to fit in. There is no common culture here. It's not like not like Europe or Australia. This is an open culture. So if you don't believe in Christmas, you don't believe in Christmas. You don't believe in Santa, you don't believe in Santa. You don't believe in whatever, you don't believe in whatever. So I don't know why sometimes Muslims make it like a big deal that you have to reply, and you don't have to reply. I never said to anybody Merry Christmas. I never actually this year said to anybody like on YouTube, and hundreds of people told me Merry Christmas everywhere I go. I said, I smile, I shake my head, and that's it. Smile, good day, whatever. It's like, have some security, have some self-confidence, have some self-worth. Don't act like as if you owe something to somebody, that you have to be something, or you have to be like others. I don't know where this come from. That America is not based on that at all. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to be like everybody. Actually, this culture is like be yourself. Basically, that's what it is. I don't know. Everybody be yourself, but when it comes to things that Islam have a clear line, we want to play around with it. And this is something that I want you to pay attention to, because this is the work of shaitan, And that's another book, by the way, by Ibn Al Qayyim, the ways of shaitan. Like the shaitan has different ways of addressing people. So be yourself for everything, but when be independent, be yourself, express yourself. Don't let anybody impose on you. And when it comes to things that Islam says, have your own personality and have like your own things. No, I don't want to be like an independent, standing out Muslim. But I can stand out in everything else, but not as a Muslim. Why? Because you're scared of people like saying Muslim terrorist or whatever. We are actually encouraging this to grow by buying into this narrative. No, actually, I go with my thobe, with my things. I go with my exercise clothes around. I go with a suit and a tie. I go like whatever I'm wearing at a time. It's like, I go to the groceries. I go to the mall. I go, one time I went to have a haircut like this in the mall. Everybody was looking at me, and I was like having a kick, out of this. I was like having the time of my day, honestly, wallahi speaking. This, like, I never felt so good like that day. And then I was wondering, it's me who decide. Wallah, it's me. It's not anybody else. Like, it's me who decide how should I feel. My daughters walk with me sometimes, and sisters, you can relate to that. And they said, I feel everybody's looking at me. Because, I know why everybody would look at you. Oh, because you're wearing hijab, yani? Look back at them. Well, they're not wearing hijab. Your default rule is that you're wearing hijab. That's how secure you should be with Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, everyone else not wearing hijab, you should be like wondering about how far did these people come from the fitrah of Allah Azza wa Jal? You should be wondering, actually, like subhanallah, look how big is the number of people who deviated from the fitrah of Allah, and you feel good about yourself. But the shaitan makes us feel insecure and not happy, and no, it's like normal. It's like normal. Like, if your kid, see you, they don't see the difference. They see you covered and people uncovered. They just see it like that. But you instill in them that, oh, I'm different. Oh, this one. Oh, that one. And then it develops with them. No, make them feel confident about themselves. Yeah, and there will be always people who are like, making you feel uncomfortable. So should not let them do that. Should not give that to them. Anyways, this is something I wanted to say about the new year and all of that. Inshallah, and this year we're going to study like books, like, we take a book, consider it like a course, and then inshallah we'll give you a certificate of completion of the book if I, have the ijaza in it. Like I have ijaza in the books of Ibn Al Qayyim. So I'm going to write you, inshallah, ijaza that you attended this class, attended this book, and you listened to the explanation from me. And I took it from my sheikh and from his sheikh until Ibn Al Qayyim himself. Yeah. We'll give you that. So Sister Maryam, inshallah, take a note of this and have the names of the sisters who attend. And Taban, of course, we are going to only give the sisters who attended the whole thing. So inshallah, I'll take your word for it. I trust you that you attended every session of this book, then we'll take that ijaza. So to be honest and trustworthy. Yeah. So this book here is written by Al-Imam, the great Imam Ibn Al Qayyim, rahimahullah. Right? Imam Ibn Al Qayyim, he is, his name is, his title, Shamsuddin. His kunya or nickname Abu Abdullah. His name is Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, ibn Ayyub, ibn Sa'ad, ibn Hurayz, ibn Makki, al-Zar'i, al-Dimashqi, al-Hanbali. So from Damascus originally, and he is Hanbali, following the madhab of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. And he is the student of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. He is a student of Ibn Taymiyyah. والزرعي يعني is a place called Zura or Zur'a, which is a town close to Damascus. يعني. his famous name يعني Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya. Qayyim is like the principal or the caretaker or the guardian. Al-Jawziyya is the school of Sharia and Islamic studies and all of that in Damascus, and his father was the principal of that. So Qayyim al-Jawziyya is Abu Bakr ibn Ayyub, yani the father of Muhammad, Ibn Al Qayyim. So Ibn Al Qayyim, yani the son of the principal. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya, the son of al-Jawziyya principal, right? So Jawziyya is the name of the school, and Qayyim al-Jawziyya is the principal of Jawziyya, principal of the school called Jawziyya. Ibn al-Qayyim, the principal. Okay, so that's the meaning of Ibn al-Qayyim. So Ibn, yani son of, but his name is Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. Okay, and he was born the year 691 of Hijrah. And the 7th century, the end of the 7th century of Hijrah. 7th of Safar of that year in Damascus, Ibn Al Qayyim. He was raised in a very righteous, religious, and educational academic family. Okay? And the family was known with knowledge, teaching and studying, and hadith and fiqh and sunnah. And he started in a young age, different branches of knowledge, linguistics and Quran and hadith and fiqh, aqidah. يعني الإمام ابن كثير, who was contemporary of Ibn Al Qayyim. Ibn Kathir, the tafsir, the one who wrote tafsir. He says he is the sheikh and he's saying that the father of Ibn Al Qayyim, he said he's the Sheikh, the pious, righteous, slave of Allah, Abu Bakr ibn Ayyub ibn Sa'd al-Zura'i al-Hanbali, Qayyim al-Jawziyya, the principal of the school of Jawziyya. He was a very pious, righteous worshipper, and he was not a person who lives in pretentiousness or extravagance. Okay? So Ibn al-Qayyim, subhanAllah, and this is a blessing when the son is raised by a father like that. So Ibn al-Qayyim was fortunate to have a father like this who raised him. He's the scholar of his time. Also, Ibn al-Qayyim have brothers and cousins and uncles who are all scholars and knowledgeable people who was teaching the deen of Islam. Whoever looks at the books of Ibn al-Qayyim will find that he is someone who is an ocean of knowledge, like someone who is not specific only to a certain type of knowledge, but he knows fiqh wa aqidah wa al-usul, fundamentals يعني of deen, hadith, sciences, tafsir, Quran, lugha, linguistics, syntax, nahw, al-fara'id, inheritance, lugha, and others. And when you see how deep he is, like whenever he speaks to one of those branches, you think that he doesn't know anything other than that, or this is the best that he know of. But subhanAllah, everything is the same. Beside all of that, he was known for his worship and his disassociation with the dunya and his piety. And this is what the scholars call فقيه النفس. يعني فقيه النفس, the jurist of the self. Yeah, not just jurist of the ahkam. Jurist of ahkam is like the one you ask them, they give you the fatwa, they say they're ruling this and that. But the faqih al-nafs is the one that you see his knowledge in his character. Like he breathes it. It comes out of him. Like, the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he dresses, the way he handles, the way he worships is what he preaches. So that's hard. And this, the prophets and the messengers of Allah is number one. Then their companions, then it trickles down like that. May Allah forgive us for what we do. But he was really عالم, عامل, معلم. يعني عالم, knowledgeable, عامل, he does what he knows, and then he teaches it. So he received and he has, and then he teaches, but in between he practices what he knows and what he preaches. Okay. And he was known for that. That's why Ibn Al Qayyim, subhanAllah, I find him everywhere. I find his name is everywhere in every science. And he wrote books, and that there are books of reference in those sciences. And he was very like easy, accessible person, personable is the word, and never, never was covetous of anybody or envious to anybody. Never harmed anybody, and never had a grudge with anyone. So Imam Ibn Kathir, he said that he was my close friend. Where I was loved by him so much. And I did not know, from what I saw, anybody who worshiped Allah more than Ibn Al Qayyim. That's his friend Ibn Kathir. Yeah. He said that he had a way of salah that nobody can bear. He will make his salah very long standing, long ruku', long sujood. And many of his friends used to blame him for that. And he would not stop. If you don't want to pray with me, that's fine. But I will not change my prayer until he met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, who's another contemporary and friend of him, and he studied also with Ibn Al Qayyim. And he said that he mastered the jurisprudence of the Madhab al-Hanbali, and he excelled in it, and he became a mufti in it, and he was the closest student of Taqiyuddin ibn Taymiyyah, and he mastered all branches of the knowledge of Islam. And he knew tafsir in a way that nobody of his contemporaries would know. And he knows the fundamentals of the religion. He knows the hadith and its sciences and its intricacies and its ambiguities. And he construes and deduces from it in a way that nobody can catch up with. He knows the fiqh and its usul and Arabic and linguistics and logic and rhetoric, and he knows syntax, and he also knows tasawwuf, Sufism, and he knows the suluk, the behavioral and the spiritual sciences as well, and how to understand within that perspective. So that's enough about Ibn Al Qayyim and his vast knowledge and all of that. Ibn Al Qayyim also was tested, was imprisoned with Ibn Taymiyyah, and he imprisoned with him in the last time when Ibn Taymiyyah died, passed away, in the castle in Egypt, Qal'a fi Misr, but they were in seclusion, and they did not release him except after the death of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. You can imagine how sad Ibn al-Qayyim was, to enter the jail with his sheikh, but never sees him inside, and he gets released after his sheikh dies. When Ibn Taymiyyah came to Damascus, Ibn Taymiyyah is not from Damascus, but when he came to Damascus, Ibn al-Qayyim stayed with him from the 720 to 712 of Hijrah until 728 of Hijrah. So stayed with him about 14 years. When Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah died, he stayed with him from 712 until he died. About 17 years or so. So he studied a lot with Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, and he benefited a lot from him. Among there are many other sheikhs for Ibn al-Qayyim. Among his students, his can't call peers, but students as well, is Ibn Rajab. Is considered a student of Ibn al-Qayyim. Ibn Kathir is considered a student of Ibn al-Qayyim. Imam Ibn Abd al-Hadi, Ibn Qudama, Muhammad Shamsuddin Abu Abdullah ibn Ahmad ibn Abd al-Hadi ibn Qudama al-Hanbali, the one who wrote the fiqh of Madhab al-Hanbali, student of Ibn al-Qayyim. So that shows you not only the shuyukh of the alim or the scholars, but his students. And what does he produce? Because a scholar studying from someone is great. I studied under this sheikh and this sheikh and this sheikh. Well, wonderful. Good for you, Sheikh Mamdouh. That's nice. But how many students did you produce to the society or the community? That is what shows the effort of a scholar or a da'i or someone who is in the da'wah. And that's something that I want you to learn and know, especially as a sister. And everybody said, okay, you did this and you did this and you did this and you worked and you helped your husband, all of that. But how many sons and daughters who became impactful in this life that you produced as a mother? That's a question, And if you did not do that, then do it with your grandchildren. Like do it with someone else. Like, teach someone. Teach a teenager, female teenagers, teach another woman, teach a young sister, a young mother. Teach her and make her impactful to raise a good generation. That is how we produce. So Ibn Al Qayyim wrote numerous books, about 100 books or so, 90 to 100. I need the approximate number of the Ibn Al Qayyim's titles or topics. Some of it we just know the names because it's mentioned in other books of bibliography, but there are many also that printed, like this book that we are going to be studying. Now, I want to give you the summary of this book, a summary of this book of Asrar Al-Salah, or the secrets of Salah. So this is Ibn Al Qayyim. The reason that Ibn Al Qayyim made this risala, they call it a treatise or a short book, a short letter. This is, he wrote it like original. What do I mean by that? Some other treatises written by Ibn Al Qayyim, but they are taken from a bigger book, like Madarij al-Salikin, Daraj al-Salikin, or Ighathat al-Lahfan, or Zad al-Ma'ad. He has a big book, 3-4 volumes, and a section taken from it, and somebody printed as a book, but it's not a book. Right? But this treatise about Salah, it's original. He wrote it for that topic, for that subject, and that's important also to know. So he wanted to compare between those who listen to songs and enjoy that, how it affects their soul and makes them happy and relaxed, and getting that from Quran and Salah. Because in his time it's famous, so people listen to singing and poetry and all of that. They call it sama'yan. They listen to these things. So he said listening to Quran actually is bar none. And enjoyment, the enjoyment that you want to get and the nourishment for your soul comes from Salah and from the Quran in a way that cannot be compared with anything else, but people are not aware of it. And the shaitan is blocking you from it because he knows what you're going to get when you get there. So he does not want you to get there. And he makes it hard for you. When it makes it hard, it makes it look very hard to attain. Because he knows if you get to it, then you become addicted like nothing else. Like addicted to it like nothing else. It's like something that will fill your world with enjoyment. Okay, so that's exactly why Ibn Al Qayyim wrote this book, The Secrets of Salah. So he wanted to tell you that this is the actual ladha, the actual enjoyment, the actual taste, things that you taste, is in Salah and the recitation of the Quran. But the other one is like fake, artificial, temporary enjoyment that you get from listening to instruments and songs and all of these things. And he wanted to show that each one of them is completely separate from the other. The means and the mechanism of it and the impact on the self. Okay, so he started in this treatise or this material here that we discussing, how the great bounty of Allah, the ni'mah of Allah on His servants, that He gives them the gift of Salah. The gift of the Salah is the comfort of the eye of the ones who love Allah, not anybody else. Anybody else, it becomes a task on them. It's a duty. It is something that they will need to finish. But for the muhibbin, they call them muhibbin, the people who love, who are in love with Allah Azza wa Jal, Salah is a gift for them. and it is a comfort of their eyes, and it is the enjoyment and the pleasure of their souls, the souls of the worshippers who have khushu'. And he said that this is the feast. They call it ma'duba. Ma'duba is like the feast that you go to 5 times a day. And there is no talk about hunger after that. And this is the nutrition and the food and the enjoyment and the fruits and the protein and everything that you want. So you go there and you come out while you are full, you are quenched, your thirst is quenched, your hunger is gone, and you have nutrition and you have like everything. So he said that the servant of Allah will suffer from famines, from hunger, and from dryness, and from thirst, and from lack of clothing, and from sickness. And all of this will go away. All of this will go away with the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because the dhikr of Allah is the rain that will bring life to the heart. Heart is like the earth. It is like the soil. It's like the land, which is dry and all of that, those things. So the dhikr of Allah is going to bring that. That's why we are called to salah a few times every day, 5 times every day, not at one time. Because we go through all of this, the spiritual thirst, spiritual hunger, spiritual famine, spiritual nakedness. And then comes the salah, give us all this clothing and water and food and happiness and comfort and all of that, and health. So being heedless from the dhikr of Allah, it will bring all those things back. But the dhikr of Allah is the rain that brings like that. And there is no life of the heart except through believing in the oneness of Allah and going always running toward Allah and following His orders and looking for the orders to follow and avoiding His prohibitions and running away as far as possible from it. So that's in the beginning, he talked about that. Then he talked about the types of people in regards to how they use their body, jawarih, the tools Allah gave you, the physical tools Allah gave you, the eyes, the ears, the thinking, the hands, the feet, the private parts, the stomach. How do you use those? So he mentioned that there are 3 types of people when it comes to using their physical body. One, using it for what is it created for and what is it meant for. This is the one who will win. And the one who uses it for the things that it is not created for, but he disobeys Allah with it. And he engages and indulges in the forbidden lusts and desires. This is the one who is lost. So the first one is the one who won, and the second one is the one who lost. And the third one is the one who is not using it. Become lazy, lethargic, indifferent. So he's not benefiting in the dunya from it physically, and he's not investing, using it to invest in the akhirah. He is also a loser. Then Ibn Al Qayyim mentioned an example for each one of those. Okay, each one of those, and he called the first type the people of awareness or alertness, Ahl al-Yaqadha. And then he called the second one Ahl al-Ghafla, the people of heedlessness. And then he called the third type Ahl al-Khiyana, the type of betrayal. They betrayed themselves and they betrayed the covenant of Allah. Okay. Then Ibn Al Qayyim after that start talking about the secrets of Salah. If you notice, he talk about Allah's favor on people by giving them the Salah. And then the types of people when it comes to using the body that Allah gives them and give examples. Now he's going to talk about the Salah. See, this is the thought process of Ibn Al Qayyim. Yeah, he has to go in a logical way. He cannot just come like we do sometimes. He says, we have to pray, you have to pray. But there is Allah. This is you. This is the body that you have. And when salah comes from Allah to you, who have that body, now it makes sense why you should pray. You see? So I want you to pay attention to these things. As I told you, Ibn Al Qayyim is a master of tarbiyah, also upbringing. He's a teacher. And he's a great person of mysticism as well. So he knows how to deal with people. And then that's why when you read Ibn Al Qayyim, you'll understand his approach. Like in every book he does, he will go like that. He will bring it from Allah Azza wa Jal all the way down to you. So you feel the meaning of your life and the purpose of your creation, right? Then he starts talking about the secrets of Salah and the wisdom in each of those secrets. And the whole idea of Salah is to bring your heart toward Allah Azza wa Jal, and to be present in its totality, this heart in its totality present in Salah in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. The closer you get to this presence in its entirety, your heart in its entirety, the more enjoyment that you are going to have. The less you have of that, the less enjoyment you'll have, and the more of just a duty Salah will be. And then he will talk about, in the book, he talks about the secrets of wudu itself and the wisdom behind the wudu, and why Allah made it before Salah. It is like cleaning the water, cleaning the dirt. Now this is a symbolism of you cleaning your soul before you're standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's a zahir wa batin. Yani the outer aspect of wudu is the physical cleanliness, right? But the one which is intended more is cleaning this spiritual dirt and impurities from the heart and the soul, from the sins that we did, from what we saw, what we said, and what we did, and what we thought about. It is like the water is cleaning the outer part, but that act in itself is a time I'm getting ready to stand in front of my Creator. So the wudu now will be something else, when you think like that. Then why we say shahada after the wudu? It is like, as if you're becoming a new Muslim, in a sense. That sunnah is to say after wudu, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. It's like, you are confirming and affirming that I do not have any shirk. So you stand in front of Allah as a straight, sincere believer. You see now each one of those secrets will gonna hit you hard. It's a beautiful book actually. It's like a tawbah that you make tawbah every time. So you are cleaning your heart and soul from all types of impurities and dirt, hypocrisy and shirk and arrogance and all of that. And then you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, statement with the tongue. And it is like you are repenting to Allah. Now you are ready to go stand in front of Allah. So the wudu itself, actually, it is not just some water and I need to finish. No. It is a state of being ready stand in front of Allah. It's like a preparation to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Ibn Al Qayyim talk about the secrets of going to the masjid. So it is like somebody, a slave running away from his master. And now he's finding the way back to the house of his master to go and repent and apologize and use his body to serve. That's for a human being. Now we are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he talks about the secret and the wisdom of facing the Qibla and why we face al-Bayt al-Haram, Masjid al-Haram. Then the secret of why you start Salah with Takbir. Why start Salah with Takbir. The secrets of Dua al-Istiftah. When you say سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك. What is the wisdom of saying A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem before reciting the Quran? What is the state of mind when you're reciting the Quran? What it should be? Reciting the Fatiha and its secrets and wisdom in it, and why we start every rak'ah with it. Ibn Al Qayyim will talk about that in the book. You cannot find it anywhere else, and you'll see, inshallah. And when you read those things together, you will see that the things that Ibn Al Qayyim wrote, it's subhanallah. Yani, this is a gift from Allah, tawfiq min Allah Azza wa Jal. Yani, the words are there, the hadith are there, but for somebody to bring it like a necklace and put them together in such a beautiful way, that's what it is. People have pearls everywhere. But why people pay more in the same set of pearls? Because for the brand, for the person who put them together, it has a name, it has a brand. So that's exactly what these scholars, Allah give them that power of speech to put things together that gets to the hearts of others. So Ibn Al Qayyim was like that. Then he talked about raising the hand in the salah and the takbir. Why we do takbir, Allahu Akbar? Yani from ruku' to standing, say Sami Allahu liman hamidah, then we say Allahu Akbar. He talks about these secrets here. And the secret of sujood, the secret of sitting between the two sujood, and the secret of repetition of sujood. And in every rak'ah, you do everything once, but in the sajda, you do it twice. Thought about that before? You sit at tashahhud at the end, يعني say التحيات لله عز وجل while you're sitting, not while you're standing. And you give salam to all the prophets and the pious and righteous. He talks in an amazing way. Then after that, he goes to in a chapter that he talks now about the core and the essence of the salah in general, in total. That you go in your entirety in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then there are levels of going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how you bring yourself closer to Allah in every move of the salah. We are not standing in one move, we are changing. Why we are changing from one move to another? Because each one of them have its own key to enter or presence in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he talks about the fruit of ibadah and the fruit of salah. Then he will compare between the people who listen to songs and all of these things and the people who enjoy the salah and the Quran after all what he talked about. You cannot say that to somebody who did not know all of this. You cannot say, oh, salah is better. But I enjoy more with the... But when you talk about all those things, it's a gift from Allah and who you are and what is your body, it's a gift from Allah and how you use it, and when you sit in wudu and when you stand in the salah. After that explanation in detail, then tell somebody that, did you find all of this in the songs? He'll tell you no. Then you know which one is better. See, I told you, logic and thought process, right? Then he would talk after that about the difference in taste between the Sahaba and the Tabi'een and those who come later. Like why the taste of people changes. And we can relate to that. Like, the taste of our parents and what they say and what they listen and the language that they use. And it's different from us. Our children different from us. So why these changes happen? We're all human beings, but we're affected by what we use our senses for. It's the eyes and the ears and the tongue. And what you're exposed to changes you. Then at the end, he speaks about the last chapter, he talks about that there is a punishment, not self-punishment, like a physical feeling that comes after listening to all these songs or anything. There's no satisfaction later. You might have enjoyment at that time, but there is no satisfaction later. It does not give you any satisfaction after, like you get in the salah. You finish the salah, you feel like you achieved something nice. You are happy that you prayed Isha. You are happy that you prayed this. And it lasts with you until the next prayer. But for songs and everything, like if you are a believer, it's not there. It doesn't last. It doesn't last. So he said it's like a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that it never satisfies you. It takes away from you. But Salah and the Quran, it gives you more and more. Then he said that there is containers, like ania, utensil or containers. He's talking about physical, but he's referring to spiritual as well. So he said that there is clean containers or pots, and there is impure, najis, and there is mukhtalit, mixed. Now the drinks that you put inside of it, there is clean, pure, and there is najis, right? Impure, and there's mixed. Okay, so that's in regards to physical things. Hearts, he divides them also to functional and healthy, sick and not functional, the second one. And the third one is like mixed as well, that it has some faith and some hypocrisy. Then he talked about the prohibitions in Sharia, and that is something that's prohibited for its own self, and something that is prohibited for what it leads to. So something is like prohibited in its own self, something is prohibited for what it leads to. Then after that, he finishes his treatise by praising Allah and sending Salah and Salam of Rasulullah as he started. This is a beautiful, enjoyable work of Ibn Al Qayyim, and I think every Muslim should study it and learn it, and we should teach it to our children and memorize it even, if we can. Summarize it, memorize it, teach it to your children, and let them repeat stuff. It's doable, by the way. You know, kids learn pages and pages and memorize. They memorize different things. So we should pick important stuff like that and let them memorize it and repeat it. So when they grow up, they have it, its memory now, they understand it, and they will spend their life learning it and studying it and practicing it. May Allah reward Ibn Al Qayyim for that. I hope I give you a summary of that book. For Ibn Al Qayyim, you will find the repetition of these words in his books, but we said that it is not taken from his books. But whoever read Ibn Al Qayyim books, you will find that the same message. He's addressing it in the same approach, different examples, different perspectives, and different aspects of the subject, but it's the same thing. Loving Allah, you are a slave to Allah. He owns you. You have to believe in the qadr of Allah. You have to do what Allah Azza Jal asked you to do. Avoid what Allah told you to avoid for the happiness in this dunya and eternal happiness in the hereafter. That's the whole message. It's easy said, but it's hard done. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to, inshallah, enjoy this and learn from it and benefit, inshallah. Sallallahu sallam wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. If you have any comment or questions, you're most welcome to do.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Mamdouh. This is, of course, a very good idea to do the books. I could really imagine us now actually downloading the book and sitting down every night reading it, getting more knowledge through reading instead of scrolling, inshallah.
Yes, ma'am. And I want to tell you that by doing this, you are getting to a new stage of seeking knowledge, right? Because seeking knowledge is a book and a teacher, all right? So that's basically seeking knowledge. If anybody tells you any other thing, I think they were cheating you. But when you are a Muslim, our deen is coming from isnad, like, or everything comes with a chain. Everything goes back, not to Ibn Al Qayyim. Where did Ibn Al Qayyim bring it from? From the Quran and the Sunnah, right? Quran and Sunnah is from the Sahaba, from the Sahabis, from Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, from Allah Azza Jal. So basically, that's how we are as Muslims, different from any other nation or any other religion. We seek knowledge direct from God. Okay? So, yeah, there is a chain, long, yes, we understand that. But basically, I worship Allah the way Allah wants me to worship Him. So keep that in your head. So when you have a book, you have a written material that is written by someone, and you trace that person through a teacher until that person, and that person takes you to another person until the Sahaba, until Rasulullah, until Allah Azza Jal, that's what it is all about. So when you are focused in studying this in traditional ways, that you are getting to another level of seeking knowledge, and may Allah reward you, inshallah.
Sheikh, just because I wasn't paying attention, what is the relation between Ibn Al Qayyim and Ibn Taymiyyah? Who is the teacher of who?
Ibn Taymiyyah is the teacher of Ibn Al Qayyim.
Okay, so this is originally written by Ibn Taymiyyah, and then Ibn Al Qayyim, like...
La. This is Ibn Al Qayyim original work.
Okay.
But most of what Ibn Al Qayyim is speaking about, he studied from Ibn Taymiyyah.
Okay.
Generally, and his teacher. Ibn Taymiyyah has his own books about Salah and Khushu and all of that, right? But Ibn Qayyim is not copying from him, and he's not summarizing it or anything like that. No. Ibn Qayyim, this is his original book, his original work. What I was saying is Ibn Qayyim has major books. Sometimes people come after Ibn Qayyim and say book such and such by Ibn Qayyim. Ibn Qayyim did not write that specific book, but he wrote it as part of a bigger book. ماشي؟ يعني مثلا a book he wrote مدارج السالكين. One of the stages of السالكين is التقوى, right? So it's one of 70 different sections in the book. So somebody come and taqwa and said at-taqwa by Ibn Qayyim. You understand now? So that's not what he did here in the Secrets of Salah. Secrets of Salah is an independent book written by Ibn Qayyim.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah khairan. This is a very great topic. I'm not going to take too much of your time because I know it's Dhuhr time almost.
Yes.
About a week ago, I was feeling very depressed. I've been praying for quite some time. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I was depressed because I wasn't feeling any benefits of the Salah. So I cried and I'm like, I don't want to pray because I don't feel any spiritual benefits. So in this depression, miraculously, a video popped in my YouTube feedback. Not feedback, I'm sorry. And it really helped me understand the Salah and its meaning. And I would like you to watch it or maybe give your feedback. What do you think of that? It's from a young Muslim brother, and it kind of aligns with what you're saying. And I would really like to get your feedback on that whenever you have time, inshallah.
Sure. Jazakallah khair. But my one word or my one piece of advice is the approach of wanting an instant, physical, tangible benefit of your worship to Allah is wrong. That in
no,
itself
I meant spiritually. I meant spiritually, not materially.
Same thing. Like if you say that I only pray if I get a specific feeling. If I don't get a specific feeling, I should not pray. That means now you are the one who decide why should you pray. You know what I mean? So Allah is the one who told you to pray because He wants you to pray. Now, you feel or not feel, it comes a second step, But if you say that I'm not getting anything spiritually, okay, whom are you? Why are you punishing Allah? You are saying, okay, you make salah fard on me, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not getting anything out of it. You get the idea? You get what I'm
Right.
trying to say here?
Right.
Yeah. So you are actually telling Allah, I'm not going to do it, even though you want me to do it, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not benefiting. That approach in itself is wrong. It's not good logic. You start first by surrendering to Allah. Surrender means no choice. Surrender means I do not actually see the benefit, but I surrender. I surrender without me analyzing or talking or making anything logical. I surrender means I put my head down to you to do whatever you want with me. You are my Lord, you are my master. I am surrendering to you. Then Allah will give you the spirituality that you want.
Okay,
You see?
alhamdulillah.
So now, alhamdulillah, that Allah Azza wa Jal send you that person. You know what I mean? You see that Allah is telling you that it's not like you control it. I can make things happen, right? Because you inside, there's something inside of you, you wanted to get out of that state, right?
Right.
So that's why Allah gave it to you. So always don't rush to decisions before surrendering to Allah and asking Him for help.
Inshallah.
But I will look at the video, inshallah.
Okay.
Well, Jazakallah khair, sisters. I have 1 minute to go to the masjid, but I'm in the masjid anyway, so
Okay.
I have 1 minute to go to the masjid to
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah.
Jazakallah.
MashaAllah. I'm proud of all of you. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.